Değerli konuklar, değerli basın mensupları, katılımcı firmalarımızdan Bayraktar Görüntüleme Sistemleri Baş Mühendisi Basir Aziz'i Bayraktar Görüntüleme Paketi'nin tanıtımını yapmak üzere sahneye davet ediyorum.
Okay, Bismillah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Welcome to our esteemed guests. Özür dilerim, İngilizce konuşacağım. You're very welcome. Today we're coming on behalf of Baykar to announce our Bayraktar imaging suite. And when we think about drones and their capabilities, there are a few things that they do. Firstly, they send bombs, munitions, payloads to targets. That's one prime goal. But the drones that Baykar's customers possess only employ that kind of activity a very small percentage of the time. Otherwise, they are surveilling and they're imaging. In other words, the drone's purpose, in addition to sending those payloads, is also to understand the world through video or through images. And today, what we're focused on is the imaging component of what these drones are capable of. And I want to call your attention to one very important capability that come with drones, which distinguish them from the other platform people use for imaging, which is satellites. The great advantage of drones, and why this is an important investment area for Baykar, is that when it comes to imaging, when it comes to understanding the world and how it's changing, satellites today cannot come close to achieving what drones can do. And so we're going to spend a few minutes with you, myself and my colleagues, to explain how exactly it is that these drones can achieve things that we've formerly in history only dreamed of doing with satellite imaging. And to motivate the discussion, we're going to share with you a short video. It will be in Turkish, and I'll guide you through it. Can we turn up the volume, please? The volume. So, persistent situational awareness. That's what the title says. Here you see an Akıncı drone. The mapping has been completed for a certain date. On the right, you see an index of maps growing in time. Here you see different regions being covered, mapping being completed. You generate an atlas of maps with the offering that we have, where you can cover the entire country, day after day, week after week. Here we highlight the artificial intelligence, and we'll speak about that in a bit. Object detection. Something important for the defense industry, identifying a tank. This is part of the offering that comes with the Bayraktar Imaging Suite. Here's another example of something simple, car detection. We'll talk about this a little bit more in our AI portion of the product launch. Here you see a highlight of change detection. Here you see an airfield. And you can just compare 2 points in time and see the changes that have manifested. This is highlighting the future of imaging, a really cool feature I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So it's highlighting that traditional gimbal cameras here are great for identifying objects and targeting them when they're very far away. The moment that you zoom out, that's great, you get more area, but the details that you get are lessened in the sense that your resolution is lower. So here's where we come in. Our imaging system here is attaching onto an Akıncı drone. And what you notice is that a multi-camera array, which sits now on the platform, gets much higher detail. 100 times better than what you can expect from best-in-class satellite imaging available. Here you see all sorts of insights that you can pick up from the ground, and there's no longer a pull between detail and area. You can get both. And what's more is that those insights that are captured on the edge, on the aircraft, can be sent live to the ground control station. BAYKAR has a multitude of platforms. This one not only works on BAYKAR platforms, it also works on non-BAYKAR platforms like the Cessna that you saw. All right, so that was a quick highlight video. Thank you for your attention. I'll now turn things over to our colleague, Ala Baharoğlu, who will highlight the product suite that we have to offer. So thank you, Ala.
Çalışacak mı? Test. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aladdin Baharoğlu, and I am the director of the operations for the mapping project. So thank you, Mr. Basir. He have been telling us about the product in general, but what I would like to share with you is the missions that this product have been conducting. We have been conducting several missions on different geographies, and I'm going to start with the very unfortunate disaster that happened last year. Perhaps all of you are familiar with the earthquake that happened in Şubat in February in the eastern of Turkey, and it was a huge disaster, and we had no previous warning, right? So everyone on the field needed insights. It's a huge area. We need high-resolution maps. We need to share this with the authorities, with the rescue teams, but we don't have data. So here where our system comes handy. So in here, we had to map tens of thousands of kilometers, square kilometers, for like 13 or 15 different cities and villages. And the system was able to give the authorities and the rescue teams many insights for what's happening on ground. As you can see, the system not just gives you high resolution, but they were also able to see the damaged buildings, the buildings that used to exist, but not anymore. This, of course, was with the help of our machine learning, with the help of our AI models that my colleague Ali will explain more a bit. For example, in here, on the left side, you can see that we already had satellite images, but they weren't as good as we need. On the right hand, we had our own images that were high resolution, and they were properly analyzed and shared with the authorities. Now in here, this is another mission that we had, that our system already conducted. The authorities were interested in finding illegal mining sites, sahte madencilik. And in here, our system, since you have access to remote locations with drones, not only you can fly there, but they were able to detect and even assess and analyze the volume of those mining in a very, very remote locations. So they had access to a remote location with high resolution. Now, speaking of remote locations, this is another mission where we have a very, very remote site in winter. And if you zoom in, you can see even footprints around the lake or the pond. And you are able to track those footprints and the tire prints all the way back to where they started from, which takes us to a very, very remote house. So authorities different organizations who have access to such system or service will be able to see high-resolution insights and track things even at a very remote, hard geographies. So we're zooming in, and we're seeing the house where the footprints started from. Okay? Now, moving forward to my last example, I think, for today. This is another mission. Our customer or client needed to scan a certain area and scan how many boats there are, okay? Tekneler. Now, in here, we are selecting a boat for the system to be able to identify similar objects, which are boats in this case. We're just drawing a polygon, and then we're asking the system to find similar objects, or boats actually, in 10 kilometers radius. And if you pay attention, the system was not just only able to find and label the boats, but it could find any type of boat, even on the land. It doesn't have to be in water. So the system was able to detect different boats, even if it's deep, deep, deep in the land at the backyard of some house. So the client, or whoever the authority is, was able to do a quick survey and see the number of boats and where they are distributed. Okay? Now, this is the service we do. This is our product. So how do we offer this product? First of all, we have the main product, which is Atlas Pro. We collect thousands and thousands of high-resolution images. And then what we do is, after flying with a drone, it could be Bayraktar TB2, Bayraktar Akinci, or any other, even Minecraft. After collecting thousands of images, what we do is we try to analyze and understand what we are looking at. So we analyze using machine learning, artificial intelligence. My friend Ali will explain this in details, inshallah. So we have Insight Pro for this. After collecting the data, we collect the insights we need. Last but not least, after you have thousands of images, maps, analysis, you need to archive them, you need to store them, you need to share them. And this is where Vista Pro comes in handy. It's our own system that it's in-house, built in-house, and it is used to archive our maps. You can share them, you can manage them, you can have different maps of the same area at different points of time. All of this can be easily managed and easily accessed with Vista Pro. Now, last but not least, with these products, how do we put these products into use of our customers? So this is the package. First of all, we have our main product, which is the pod itself. For this version, we have 14 different cameras. In this image, it is mounted to a TB2. However, it could be, as I mentioned, it can be mounted to an Akinci or other aircrafts. So this is the main hardware for the Atlas Pro, along with the server that is used to get those insights, those images, and then be processed. After they are processed, we use the Insight Pro to see what's there, to analyze everything, and then we archive them using the Vista. Of course, this system is usually delivered with extensive training to empower the customer to be able to use the system, along with maintenance, support plans, after sales, and everything that the customer might need. Now, if I may leave the floor to talk about the capabilities of our system. Mr. Basir.
Okay, thank you very much, Ala. It's me again. So, to go a little bit deeper, you can hear me, right? To go a bit deeper into the capabilities that we have to offer with each of the products within the suite that Ala just described, we'll start here with Atlas Pro, which is the flagship product that Bayraktar Imaging has to offer. Now, this product works on a multiplicity of aircraft. Akinci, TB2, TB3, which is soon to be coming, and even manned aircraft. This can be adapted to. Within several hours, you can cover thousands of square kilometers. And that's pretty cool because that level of productivity, as far as we know, is unheard of. It can help you cover entire cities, even entire countries, within short periods of time. This is quite unprecedented. The processing is automated. So we sometimes think about map making as a very manual, human-intensive process. This product was built from the ground up to be entirely automated, that it requires very little interaction from the people who are guiding the processing of these images to turn them into maps. Next point is that the resolution, I highlighted this earlier, compared to a satellite, it's about 100 times better. Just to give you a quick sense of that, you can do 30 centimeters per pixel. That's the best that you can get with the satellite. But when you get down to 3 centimeters per pixel, in one dimension, you're 10 times better. In 2 dimensions, you're 100 times better. And then you can even go more fine than 3 centimeters per pixel, even under 1. And lastly, we create all the good stuff that the GIS professionals require or like, things like orthophotos, depth maps. We can make 3D point clouds, and even NDVI, which is often used to understand vegetation and things like that. Lastly, I want to make sure it's clear that in addition to natural color imagery, we also capture infrared imagery, and that's helpful for the NDVI and other applications that are quite relevant. The use of this was not meant to be something heavy. We put a very important emphasis on speed, not just speed of processing, but also speed of operation. So once you have the device in your hands, it should not take you hours to put it on an aircraft and take it off. It should take a few minutes, and that's where we are today. And the training we've done several times. This is operational on 4 continents. We've done missions across over a dozen countries, and in these cases, we found that we usually need about 1 or 2 weeks of training, and that's pretty much good for our customers to go and get productive on their own. Insights Pro I'm not going to talk about because Ali will, as he highlights the machine learning. So let me just skip through all this real quick and get back to Vista Pro. Now, this is something that just comes with our product, regardless of whether someone gets Insights or Atlas Pro. This is the interface for us to understand, as Ala mentioned earlier. It's compatible with Atlas Pro, with Insights Pro. It also has 3D support, so for rendering things in 3D, the application can do that without a problem. You can see it in motion over here, exactly what I addressed earlier, the 3D. There are some different formats that GIS professionals like to have things in: CogTIFF, General TIFF, XYZ tiles, depth maps. We support all of these because our customers cared about all of these, so we've developed those capabilities over time. And lastly, it's important that this is a breathing system. It's not just the imagery, it's annotations made by users. It's the machine learning results and all this, and the maps themselves. It's organizing a lot of data and metadata, so data about the data. So the system is built to handle all of that as well, so that that's not forgotten, and your user ecosystem can bring out all the meaning that you want from what we have to offer. Okay? And lastly, we have standard features, user management, security, and things like that. And that way, it makes it a lot easier to handle 10, 20, even hundreds of users who are operating on the same system at the same time. I want to call quick attention to the real-time capabilities that we're building out right now. This is very cool. You see here a flight over an area where we're detecting things in real time. And the reason this is important is that it's very hard to transfer gigabytes of data over an antenna. It's next to impossible. So instead, what we do is when we fly over an area here, we can actually just find the data that we need. The computation is done on the edge, meaning it's done on the plane itself, and then only that relevant data, which is kilobytes level or megabytes level, can be sent back down to the ground control station. So this is something we're really excited about, and we're maturing as time goes on. It's our real-time offering. And if you consider a standard gimbaled camera, like an HD camera, that's usually around 2 megapixels, a 1080p camera. Well, we're dealing with hundreds of megapixels in the same amount of time. So we're like 200 times the area. And the video that I showed at the outset we can share with you is similar. It's showing the similar idea. With that said, I think we can go a little bit more into Insights. So this is just saying what I said right now. You know, the problem with these gimbaled cameras, they're very good for surveillance. They're not very good for sweeping large areas. You cannot sweep a large area with a gimbaled camera. So instead of that, using this Bayraktar imaging system, you can sweep the big area and then get all of these insights and send them back to the ground control station real time. I'm a little bit over time, but I think we're going to wrap up with Ali Chamdal. So he'll talk a bit about Insights Pro and the capabilities in AI that they bring. So Ali, please take the floor. Thanks. That goes forward.
So these are, no. Hi, I'm Ali Chamdal, Artificial Intelligence Software Engineer at Bayraktar Imaging. As my colleague stated, when we fly, we are getting super high resolution maps. But in AI part, that means terabytes of data. So let's imagine that we are going to analyze this terabytes of data manually. So that will take too much time, and that will be a frustrating process. Instead of this thing, we are offering a system that can do this analyze with artificial intelligence automatically without any human intervention. So we are calling Insights Pro, and we are providing rich information for the analyze of our maps. And we have several features as in this Insights Pro. So I'm going to, here we have classical object detection, which is basically object searching on the maps. And we have predefined classes here, so we can detect ships, small vehicles, some other objects also. But the other thing is, our customers can also add their own classes, which they can find any arbitrary object on the map. So let's imagine that we have two different maps on a same area. So let's say we have two different maps between 4 months, and we are trying to find the meaningful changes between those maps. So instead of doing this manually, again, we have these change detection models, change detection features in our machine learning stack that can do this change detection automatically. So as we stated, the understanding the maps is really important, and it comes with the segmentation of the fields. So we are doing semantic segmentation on our maps, again with the artificial intelligence, so that a city governor or someone can get information about how much is the city is a green field or roofs or water or any other fields. And apart from these classical features, we have a really strange and really surprisingly impressive features also. The first one is where else, we call it where else. And this is basically, let's think that we don't know any object on the map. So we are trying to search one object, but we don't know the object features, object properties. And we want to find the similar ones of these objects. So as we can see here, when we select a mosque in the map, it can find the similar ones around the map without any human intervention, again, with our artificial intelligence. So last but not least, a rising star, large language models. Also, we are providing a large language model system that our customer can basically chat with our maps. So as we can see here, we can select an area, and we can ask how many cars are there in this parking lot, and our model can answer that with the numbers of this number of the cars in this parking lot, again with our artificial intelligence stack. That's the end of my part. I don't want to take your precious time too much. Thank you for listening us. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer your questions. Otherwise, I wish you a happy day. Thank you for listening us.